Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, the party is over. We have finally arrived at the beginning of the election race of 2008. And I just want to issue a small health warning to the sensitive media who might be present. Today I'm going to talk about winning. It's no longer a secret that National is talking about winning. It's out in the open. And didn't it tell us something that when that story was on TV, the day world share markets were taking a pounding, the leader of this country wasn't paying attention to where the Kiwis would keep their jobs and their houses. She and her mates were lecturing us about principles. That's like getting a lecture from Dr. Cullen about deficits. And I want to warn you, it will be a dirty campaign. And it'll be a dirty campaign because Labor has nothing to say. They're sitting in the driver's seat, but they're not looking through a windscreen. They are dangerously looking at a full-on rear vision mirror. Labor and their mates look more like they're running a KGB surveillance operation than a country that needs some vision. And the reason that's happening is because the Labor Party have a ferocious sense of entitlement. A ferocious sense of entitlement to power. A ferocious sense of entitlement to your money and deciding what to do with it. And when you feel that strongly, no trick is too dirty and no lie is too bold, that it won't be used in the next month in this election campaign. These are people who have just written to every superannuitant in New Zealand telling them that under National their super will be cut. And you know what they've done? They are cutting superannuation. These are people who've been lecturing us about a bit of extra borrowing when they knew they would be announcing to New Zealand a 50% increase in government borrowing. These are people who said any kind of deficit, if John Key talks about it, is reckless, when they then opened the books to show us 10 years of deficits. These are people who 3 weeks ago told us the recession was over. Well, the reality of their economic analysis is about the same as the reality of the picture of their leader on their billboards. How can you trust them with an economy when you can't trust them with a billboard? Now I want to tell you about the record that Helen Clark won't be telling them about today. Here's the record of the last 3 years when a government elected by New Zealand was supposed to be governing. The pledge card scandal, the Phillip Field scandal, the Ministry for the Environment scandal, the Owen Glenn scandal, the Winston Peters scandal. Laid which one? All four, don't worry. Labor haven't governed for the last 3 years, and New Zealand is going to pay the price for that. They have prevaricated, procrastinated, they have not governed. And the real scandal is the lost opportunity and the complacency that means we missed the best economic times New Zealand has seen for years. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to clean out the dry rot in the beehive. There are many challenges ahead, many things National will do if it is elected as government, but there are some things we must do. We must repeal the Electoral Finance Act. We must set decent standards for cabinet ministers. We must restore respect for the hard-earned taxpayer's dollar. We must remove tired leadership with dirty tactics who have lost faith in New Zealanders. Let me share with you an email that one of my colleagues showed me. It's from a swinging voter, and he says, "I'm a swinging voter. I've been looking at your policies, listening to Mr. John Key, who I like, but I've got this question for you. Are you serious? Are you seriously going to let me choose my own light bulbs?" We're doing up the bathroom. Will you seriously let me buy a shower head where I can get wet? And by the way, if the new ones only have half the water, will anything happen to me if I stay in twice as long? And surely you can't be serious when you say that you will back me, an unqualified person operating from unlicensed premises, that is a parent at home, to raise my own children. And surely you can't be serious that you're going to let me decide what to do with more of my own money when that nice Dr. Cullen says he knows how to use it better. Well, regards, Donald. Well, Donald, John Key is serious. And when we sweep the dry rot out of the beehive, the new broom will be John Key Prime Minister. This is a man who looks people in the eye and tells them how it is. He doesn't look over their heads and tell them they should be grateful for what they've been given. This is a man who looks ahead, not behind. And I want to tell you why I think he is the right man to lead this country through the challenges that we are ahead, and it's this simple. This is a man who appeals to our better selves. He appeals to our aspirations, not our fears, to our confidence, not our insecurity, to a belief in a better New Zealand rather than a fear of the New Zealand that used to be. This is a man who believes, because of his own story and those marvellous characteristics of New Zealanders, that they can succeed from wherever they start. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is also a man who is thoughtful and decisive. And how do we know that? Because in recent weeks he's shown that to New Zealand. He made the decision that we would not work with Winston Peters. And then last week, in our tax package, he made the decision to be straight with New Zealanders and realistic about the kind of clear direction and decisive decisions that the next New Zealand government will need to make. Ladies and gentlemen, You've seen the message. Choose a brighter future. And in this election, it's national, it's confidence, it's decisiveness, it's John Key, it's a brighter future. Here he comes.